Yeah, so I'm here with Saffevell Ingram. I said that right, correctly?
Yep. Yes,
so,
first try.
Yeah. A little bit of a crazy spelling, but Saffevell is a barber in the area, and we did a little bit of a what we call it, a local business spotlight recently, which as of right now hasn't even released yet. We just did a little bit of a preview online, and it got just kind of a crazy response, at least compared to a lot of the stuff we've done. So you're apparently a pretty popular dude.
Between friends and family, man, that's like the biggest support system.
Yeah.
Like they are always wanting me to strive for greatness.
Yeah.
And to see like a lot of the work that I'm doing, like between giving back to the community and aspects between free haircuts or going to the schools or even going to the local juvenile detention center, like it is stuff that I do post about, but for them to actually see it on a bigger spectrum aside from my page, like they are super happy to see.
Cool to be recognized sometimes. Yeah,
it is.
That's what we've seen a lot. I've kind of noticed as we've been doing these, it's like when you do these little, like you can talk to a city councilman or we talked to Coach Wilkerson at Jeff High and stuff and those get good responses, but some of the ones we get even better responses are people that don't, like, your friends don't expect to see on that, come through your feed and you're like, oh, that looks cool, it looks professional, like what's going on here, and then it gets a lot of response because they're like they're happy for you,
I've had people just text me directly or DM me and they're like, dude, you just did an interview, like, dude, mad props, like you definitely deserve it, like so proud of you, and it's awesome. It's something that's really great and it makes me feel good, man. Awesome, so man. Well,
I'm glad we can help. Hopefully it helps with business and everything else too. But before we go too much more into that, I wanted to start more from the beginning. Tell us about yourself, where you're from, where'd you go to school, that kind of thing.
Well, as you all know, my name is Saffevell Ingram, and I was born and raised in Jeffersonville, Indiana. I went to Jeffersonville High School, so Go Red Devils. And it all started after I graduated high school. I really didn't have like a set in stone plan. I didn't really like see college as like the main foothold for me. So I broadened out and went into the workforce as a sales representative. And I was a sales rep manager. And I, at one point, was like, man, there's got to be more. Like, there's got to be more out there for me. I want to be able to give back to people, but I don't really know how. Because, like, growing up, my dad was a construction worker, and then my grandfather worked for the community, and everybody knew them by by Saffevell or by a nickname. And I was like, man, how am I going to get my name out there? Like, I want to be somebody recognizes me if I'm just walking down the street or if I go in the grocery store, like, hey, yo, Saffevell, what's up? And so I was sitting in my barber's chair at the time. His name's Rob. Yeah. And I was looking around the room when I was getting my hair cut, and I was like, man, I feel like I could do something like this. Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, you think I could be a barber? And he was like, Vel, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Like, you could do whatever you wanted to because you just have like that determination, that mindset to go achieve whatever. But I think you'd be a great barber. Yeah. And so I set out to start saving for barber college, which I ended up attending the Barber Academy in downtown Jeffersonville. Gotcha. Right on Spring Street. And it was a crazy story, really. I seen that they were doing scholarships at the time, and I applied for one. And this was October of 2021 when I applied for the scholarship. And I'm a big believer of God and in my faith, really heavy. And I didn't hear anything back for a while, so I started getting nervous. And I was like, maybe I just didn't win. Maybe it's not meant for me. And I prayed on it, and I prayed that if barbering was the career path for me, let me know in some sort of way. And if not, I know whatever path that the Lord puts me on will be the path that is meant for me. Well, the very next day, I am at work. I'm on my lunch break, and I get a phone call saying that I won the scholarship. And I didn't talk to nobody about it. Like, I just kept it like true to myself. And I was at the time working with one of my closest friends, and she was like, dude, are you good? Did somebody just pass away in the family or something? I'm like, no, like my dreams just became a reality. Yeah. And so then I started barber college in 2022. Yeah. got my license in 2023, and I've just been foot on the gas ever since.
Yeah. That's something, stepping into the whole faith thing. It's something we haven't really talked about on this podcast a lot, but I'm really strong in my faith as well. And I think it's something people that don't, maybe aren't as strong in their faith or haven't been in the church or whatever kind of ask you, about, like, they're skeptical, you know what I mean? And why do you believe or how do you believe? And it's one of those things that's kind of hard to explain. Yeah. But you see little things, somebody might be able to chalk up that story right there as a coincidence, Yeah. I mean, and it's easy, but to go that route, and who knows, maybe it was. But when you get so many of those things, it's that feeling you get some of those things kind of step into place the way you want them to, or maybe don't step into place you want them to, and then come out a different way than what you thought before. It's those things are what kind of pile into that overall thought that you just know. It's like my faith is stronger than it's ever been, and it to see not only to pray about it, but then also to see the prayer come to fruition. It's like, why would I not believe at that point? Yeah. And obviously, like you said, we are going to have people who chalk it up to oh, that's a coincidence. Yeah. Oh, it's just one luck. And I'm like, and to me, I'm like, luck has nothing to do with it ever. To me, it's just all about the right place and the right time. Yeah. And 100%. I'm right with you there. So that I was going to ask you, I was going to go into it later too, but I was curious. So you said you went to Barber College to start this. Is that, let's take it from the standpoint of somebody who's thinking about doing this as a career, which I think it's a great option. You talked about how you didn't really want to go to college, and I think it's become a topic more and more lately. Is going to college the best option for people? Because, there's a lot of money spent on it. There's a lot of options outside of going and spending a bunch of money on college, right? And may or may not even use what you did in college. I'm not using what I did in college right now. Right. I can't say that it, didn't help me to get where I am or anything like that. I don't regret it at all, but I'm not using it, So there's a lot of options out there. So I was just kind of curious. If somebody's coming out of high school, or maybe they're already in a different career and they decide this is the route they want to go. Is that the route you have to go, or is it just the route you chose in terms of going to school for it? Well,
each state varies. So I know there are 1 to 2 states where you can do a, not necessarily a mentorship, but you can shadow under somebody.
Like an apprenticeship?
Yeah, an apprenticeship, and work your way up that way. But I know most states you do have to go to a barber college and get in a required amount of hours. Yeah. I know for the state of Indiana, it's 1,500 credit hours. And so what you'll do is you'll go in, learn the basics. So you will study anything and everything under the book of barbering and cosmetology. So whether that means learning how to do perms, learning how to cut at different degrees with scissors, obviously the technique of what it is to fade, whether you're blending downwards or you're blending upwards, and so much more. And so really that was the route that I chose, because I could have went over to the state of Kentucky and went to Barber College, because I know that they do have a lot more options over there, or I could have went to the only one in the surrounding southern Indiana area. Gotcha. And so I was like, for me, it's going to be a closer trip for me just to be able to come to the Barber Academy. And they were willing to work around my already impacted busy schedule that I had with my job. So for me, it was about what's going to be the best opportunity. And for me, it was at the Barber Academy. But also, you don't stop learning after you get out of Barber College either. Yeah. So it's a continuous matter. Yeah. And for me, Barber College was only the stepping stone. I didn't really broaden my horizon until after, where it was learning different styles, different techniques, different hair textures, which we did touch on a little bit in barber school, but you really get opened up to it once you get your license and get into an actual barber shop. Yeah. So it definitely
You're working with probably 4 or 5 other guys there at the shop that are.
So we have 3 other guys that's in. So it's just me, the shop owner, and 2 other gentlemen as well. So it's 4 of us. In total.
I'm guessing some of them have probably been doing it longer than you have, and you've picked up a lot from them.
Of course. And that's one thing that I'll never stop doing. Sometimes I'll get caught up on one of the either the mini TV or even on my phone just watching a haircut tutorial. Yeah. And or I'll just be watching one of the guys and I'll even go up to him and ask him a question hey, how'd you do that? Or what made it come out this way? Or why are you using scissors when you could be using a clipper here or a texturizing shear. So it's always a never-ending cycle of learning, and that's what I love about this industry as well.
Well, and I'd be willing to bet one of the reasons you're popular as a barber is not just how good you are at doing hair too. It's also, I think, probably similar. We joke in real estate about how we're also therapists and lawyer and everything else. There's a lot of other jobs to step into. So you got people sitting in your chair, and I know people, they want an experience out of it too. And you're a real personable guy. And that's
something I really like to touch on first is like, to me, it's not just about cutting the hair. It's about, first and foremost, like the great customer service. Yeah. Because if you bring great customer service to the table, it doesn't matter if you're a great barber, an average barber, or if you're just flat out not good at all. Yeah. If you bring a headstrong, personable experience for the client or walk-in customer, then that's something that they will always enjoy and want to retain as well. Because they're like, oh, well, I was going to this barber, but he never really talked to me. And, or, he, it was just silence. Some people have like this theory of like, some people shouldn't have headphones in when they're talking. Yeah. That's a debate for everybody. Yeah. And so for some people, they want to be able to talk to their barber, whether it be about sports, life in general, or what they got going on this weekend, So for me, it's about giving a grade A, like 100% good customer experience all around. So absolutely. For me, it's being able to have good customer service skills, before anything else.
Well, that's a big, you talked a little bit too about what coming out, like you're coming out of your sales position and you wanted to be known, like how do I make my mark? Well, you're seeing people every day, a lot of people every day. It's a job where you're going to have an influence on people, whether you know it or not. So,
and sometimes like of course everybody gets in their own head. Sometimes I'll feel like maybe I'm not making any leeway, but then like I'll get a text a couple days later and be like, dude, thank you for that conversation. Like I didn't know that I needed that. And I'm like, oh, well, there's that reassurance that I was just harping on myself on.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So I know you talked just kind of going a little further in your story. You started to talk at the beginning about what some of the things you were doing to give back in the high schools. And I think you said something about the juvenile detention center. So tell us a little bit more about what's going on there.
So it started out at Jeff High. There's a client of mine who I cut, and his mom was my teacher back when I was in high school. I almost said back in the day, like I'm 40 or something. But
that makes me feel like 3 years away from 40 now. So I appreciate that.
And so I was talking to him, and I was like, dude, do you think that there would be a way that I'd be able to go into the school, kind of like how a lot of like armed forces, like whether it be like the military or even colleges, go in and like talk to students about like if they don't have anything planned after high school, you should enroll here, you should do this or do that. And he was like, I don't know, you'd have to talk to my mom about it. And I was like, all right, cool, well, let me see if I can talk to her so then she can talk to the principal and then I can get in. Well, come to find out, when I went outside to go talk to her, that she was in charge of that whole entire program. And she was like, well, I'm not going to talk to the principal, you're gonna have to talk to me. And I was like, oh, really? Like, for real? And she was like, yeah, we can make it happen. So I was like, all right, cool. So I gathered a few of my barber supplies, like clippers, trimmers, combs. I even grabbed a couple of shirts from B's Barber Lounge for merchandise, just in case anybody wanted to buy any. I brought everything but a barber cape, because I was like, I'm not cutting hair. I'm just going to talk to them about being a barber. If they ain't got nothing planned, you should become a barber. Or if you want to go into like the blue collar industry, do it.
Hey, it's an option.
Exactly. And while I was sitting there at lunch, there was this kid who came up and he was like, dude, I'll pay you $20 right now if you just give me a lineup. And I'm like, no. And he was like, bro, come on, dude. Like, I'll pay you $20 like right now. And I'm like, no. And then the third time he really got to me, he was like, bro, please, I need it bad. And I'm like,
persistent.
And I'm like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And what made me laugh so hard, he was like, well, let me call my mom real quick to get $20. And I just started laughing so hard. And so then I was like, you know what, bro, I'll do it for free. And it really made me think, like, in that moment, like, there's a lot of people out there who aren't fortunate enough to get a haircut or even have an experience like that. So for me, it's wanting to give back to those kids in need who aren't fortunate enough, and to be also like a guiding light and a mentor for some of these kids, because some of them kids don't have that. Like, I know a lot of us, like growing up, we either had like a teacher or an adult role model that we looked up to that wasn't our parents or parent or guardian that we looked up to and wanted, always seeked for advice from. So if I can be that for one of these kids, then that's like, for me, that's like job done. Like if I can help the next generation move on and get past, like whether they having difficulties on not wanting to play sports anymore and realize that high school is as good as it got, or if they just wasn't an athlete and they just wanted to get by in school and didn't know what really to do after high school. Like, okay, let's talk about it. Yeah. And so,
and even there in the moment, I mean, just looking good plays a lot into your confidence and stuff. And if you can't, you can't afford to get that, your mom's giving you the old chili bowl haircut at home, I know
I'm glad
I don't know if anybody's doing that these
experience.
days, but back in the day.
I joke about it with clients. I'm like, yo, if your mom tells me that you've been getting in trouble, bro, I get to either cut it all off or I get to give you a chili bowl.
Hey, my wife used to cut my hair, and while she's actually pretty good at cutting hair, and I look back at pictures then, and I'm like, man, what was I thinking?
What was I thinking?
It was more or less just a. She's gonna watch this. She ain't never gonna do anything for me again.
She's like, you're done.
But yeah. So it's like I said. I think kids in high school, especially. I mean, kids are tough these days. I mean, so having a good look and a little confidence about yourself goes a long way in the moment, not to mention what you're able to pour into these kids.
Of course. And like to be able to make them laugh and smile, like you never know what somebody's going through. So to be able to bring them like genuine joy in their life, like aside from the lineup that they get, feeling good, looking good, when you feel good, you look good. You know what I'm saying? 100%. When you look good, you feel good. Yep. So it's like, aside from that, just to being able to put a smile on these kids' faces, that's something I really enjoy as well. Yeah. And so I've been doing that for going on 2 school years now. And last year, I got a text from an old buddy of mine who works at the Juvenile Detention Center. And she was letting me know that they were having issues like with a consistent barber there. And I was like, she was like, would you be able to come do it? And from there, like I got in and, same mission. Like a lot of these kids are unfortunate and run into tragedies where they don't need to be in there. And to let them know that like, one, I'm here to do a service for you all. Like this is an opportunity just to be able to get you all looking fresh, because they would tell me all the time that, and even still, when I go there once a month, they're like, dude, thank you so much for coming, because the person that was here before, like, we were just miserable. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad I can be able to give you a fresh haircut. But to remind them, like, one, you can have fun without getting in trouble. Right. Like, first off, you don't have to do bad things to have fun. Yeah. You can do good things and still have fun as well. And that you're not meant to be in this place. Like, this is not for you. This really isn't for nobody. Like, let this not only be a lesson, but let this change your life for the better. Because, like, if you continue to go down that bad road, even worse things are bound to happen. But let me be a light for you and let you know that there's always a way out, no matter what you're going through. But to also be able to change, like, while you're still young, because after you get past the age of 18, like, there's no, like, for most people, there's no more chances. So let's nip it in the bud now and change now to be better in the future. Start building something, get a skill, something that's marketable. Exactly. And you're still young enough. You're 25? 26. 26. Yeah. So you're still young enough. These kids, these kids in the juvenile detention center or the schools or whatever are still, they're looking at you as one of theirs. You're not the old dude coming in to help give back. I've been starting to get called like Unc or Big Bro or what up OG, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute. First off, I'm not at the age requirement to be called OG. Like, let's just get that clear. Like, I'm still in my 20s. I'm still in my 20s. So let's just knock off on the OG one. Yeah. That's funny. Well, so I know you've expanded into some other schools too, right? You're doing this Beyond Jeff now. How did that come about? Did you just keep talking to the right people? I did. So luckily enough, like the principal at Charlestown was actually a former Jeff teacher, Jeff employee. Yeah. And I ended up reaching out to one of the counselors whose son is one of my clients who goes to Charlestown. Yeah. I reached out to her and the principal on an email and asked if they could reach out to the principal on my behalf. And then lo and behold, what happens is another email is created with me, the counselor, the principal of Jeff, and the principal of Charlestown to see if I can come in and get back to the community and do lineups. And
I
so
like you're a good networker in general. You do a good job of knowing the right people and getting in the right places.
And it's not like that's what a lot of people think, because it's like, oh, that's just the right timing. It's not about timing. It's about knowing the right people to get you in the right places.
Yeah.
Because when I first started out, I never, like half of these new doors that are opening and that have been open for me, I never would have thought imaginable.
Sure.
But it's all about the people that you know. Like, for example, like me here right now with you, it's all because of me knowing, you know, because of the connections that we have, like the mutual connections. So for me, it's all about who you know, because you never know who's going to sit in your chair or who you may already know that's going to lead you to something even greater.
Yeah, you got to cherish every one of those relationships that you've made, and use those things that connect you. I mean, there's a reason the same people are having those coincidental interactions. You know what I mean? It's the same ones doing it because they're networking and to be in the right place. It's like one of the quotes I always hear is that I really like is that luck is the intersection of preparedness and chance, I guess. So it's like you got to be ready for it when you get there. I might be butchering the quote, but you can't get lucky if you're not ready to pounce on that, you know, when you get the opportunity.
Exactly. And that's one thing that I will always stand on is like the more you network, the more opportunities that are bound to happen. That's like, you know, if I were to keep my mouth shut and not tell people that I'm a barber, I would just be just a regular average Joe. But anywhere I go, I tell people, I'm a licensed barber. I literally just cut hair for a living, you know, and it's more than that. Like I was literally at a coffee shop the other day and I was like, I'm just running a few minutes behind for work. And she was like, oh, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a barber. And she was like, no way, really? Like my boyfriend's needing a haircut. And what do? I pull out a business card and I'm like, here you go. Scan the QR code and you can book an appointment. She was like, I've been needing this.
Nice. You put the QR code on the business card. See, that's all smart stuff. You got to put yourself in those positions. I think this is a good for anybody watching. Maybe you don't have any interest in being a barber, but I think this is important stuff for pretty much any business you're going to be in, especially if you're an entrepreneur.
100%.
It's one thing I've learned. You know, we were talking about it a little bit ahead of time. I was asking about, you know, what are some things about being a barber in this line of work that maybe you didn't expect. And I know for me, as a realtor, there's a ton of things I didn't expect. You never know what you're getting into. But the biggest thing is that when you're an entrepreneur, you always have two jobs at least. You're doing the job that you're getting into, in your case, barber, in my case, realtor. But then you got to sell it. You got to find people to do it too. Like they're not just going to show up.
And that's like the craziest thing, because like when I got into being a barber, like the whole social media aspect of barbers were starting to come out a lot more. Like it was already out. Like a lot of things were already on YouTube and you would see things on Instagram slowly but surely. But like the one thing that I did not expect was, okay, like for me to get my name out there more, I got to post on social media like reluctantly. Like, and I have to do it. And there's days where I'm like, I don't want to, but I got to, because then it's just going to continue to grow the business.
People think that's the dream job, but after a while, posting on social media gets all...
it
takes drive.
It takes me like 5 minutes to break down like an 11-minute video now, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want to do this all the time, but when it comes into these entrepreneurships of, you know, with your case, being a realtor, and in my case, being a barber, like it's never ending. You know, like even if we don't post nothing for a few weeks, we're still going to get people who's like, oh, you just randomly popped up on my reels or my For You page. So like, then it's like, okay, the business still flows even if we don't post, but the more you post, the more that you get out there. And of course, obviously on top of that, like aside from being a barber, aside from being on social media all the time posting, you end up becoming, like we both said earlier, well, like you said earlier, a therapist. And you learn a lot more about people than you expected. And it's like, man, I didn't know that I had to talk my head off this much. But at the same time, it's like, this feels good though, to be able to do all of these things under just one hat. It led to many more. So it's a lot, but also like it's great because it's always on the go. It's never ending.
100%. There's a lot of parallels between our two professions, to be honest. One of the things I really like about it is like you're going out and doing good things, and that's something. It may be the get rich slow scheme, you know what I mean? But those things pay off. People see who you are as a person, and obviously then you go do a good job on their hair, and you're a good listener, a good friend, all those things. You're able to gradually grow your business over time just from doing a decent job, because people are going to keep coming back to you. You know, that's what I heard it phrased as: quit worrying about getting people in the front door and start worrying on locking the back door.
Yeah.
You know, stop letting people out the back. Once you get them and they're a customer, do what you can, keep up with them, do a good job to keep them there, because then it gets to a point where our jobs do become easy. You know, where we can just be a barber, be a realtor, because we've got that client base already.
And then what's really good about being in both of our businesses is the word of mouth worthy service and how great of a justice that is itself. Because it's like, oh, if you sell to somebody 2 houses or 1 house that they really love, they're going to be like, oh, hey, like if you're looking to buy a house, go to Jordan.
Yeah.
And then in my aspect, it's like, okay, I cut their hair and I did a phenomenal job. They're like, yo,
people are going to see it. Who did your hair?
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, for me, it's an artwork.
Yeah.
You know, it's like my clients and the walk-ins that come in, they are my canvas.
Yeah.
So if I can do a phenomenal job on them, then who knows, I may get 1-2 more clients that I wasn't expecting, because somebody's going to ask them, yo, where'd you get your haircut from? That looks great.
Yeah.
And then they're going to mention me. And then what's dope is I even take it a step further, and I have a majority of my clients already have my booking website link, or that they have my mobile business card on their phone, or even a personal business card. And they're like, oh, here's his info. Yeah. And then, you know, then it's like, I'll get somebody hit me up. It's like, hey, this is such and such's friend. I'm looking to get a haircut. Yeah. What do you have available? Yeah.
Speaking along those tracks, by the way, we're getting close to the end of time, so I didn't want to let it go by without figuring out how people can connect with you. So what do you got? Social media handles, like how?
So obviously, my name is Saffevell Ingram on Facebook, on Instagram, and TikTok.
It's got a crazy spelling, so we'll put it in here.
Yeah, sorry. But Instagram and TikTok, you can find me under Cutmasterville. And that's really about it. Like, my booking website link is in all 3 of my bios. Yeah. So if you do have any sort of questions or have trouble, feel free to hit me up, and I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Bees Barber
Lounge over in New Albany, Indiana. It is, yes, sir, 1717 Charlestown Road.
Nice, easy to remember.
Yes, sir.
Good deal. But Saffevell, I appreciate you coming on. Well, go ahead.
I was about to say, thank you for having me, Jordan. Like, I really appreciate sitting down and having this one-on-one time to be able to not only get myself out there more, but be able to give people more of the inside of how I got to where I am. Yeah. So thank you.
Hey, it didn't take me. I met you at Faith's wedding, and I met you again when we did that spotlight. It doesn't take much to notice that you're doing good things, that you're a good dude, easy to talk to. So, can't give him a higher recommendation, you know. You see him, he looks good, so he's bound to give a good haircut.
You look good, you feel good.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Saffevell, I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, Jordan.